Greetings, Atlases. This is Mad Hair Patrick. For the glory of Merlin, daylight is mine to command. While everyone in Hollywood loves to make fantasy movies starring wizards, witches, and hobbits, there are tons of magical creatures that do get their own walk of fame. You have your dragons, your unicorns, your fairies, and of course mermaids. However, one fantasy character that people barely utilize as the prime focus in animation are trolls. And I don't mean the internet kind. I meant the ones who live under bridges or other rocky habitats. However, when an anime fan tries to make a profit out of them, it can create some polarizing results, but mostly empty, especially when they try to turn these troublesome beings into cutesy and unhealthy happy trolls to commercialize CDs. How is it with so many attempts to make anime movies about these mystical creatures, the only best versions we got so far are the ones from Frozen? Even though I watch a couple of DreamWorks TV shows like Penguins of Madagascar and Legends of Awesomeness, I didn't really have the time to watch any of their streaming shows on Netflix up until Trollhunters this summer. During the show's run, it was the most ambitious anime series of all time. In 2017, it was nominated for 9 Daytime Emmys and won 6 of them, more than any program or live-action show during that year. It is also worth noting that this was created by the legendary filmmaker Guillermo del Toro. Oh yeah, now we're cooking! Following the show's success, Del Toro decided to create a television trilogy known as Tales of Arcadia, where each of the 3 adventures all take place in a town called Arcadia Oats, and Trollhunters would serve as chapter 1 of the trio. Welcome to another episode of The Wonder Reviews. It's finally time to show the world the real Trolls movie. This is Trollhunters, Tales of Arcadia. It's about a boy named Jim who finds a magic amulet under a bridge and comes across 2 troll monsters named Blinky and Arg. They explain that he is the first human troll hunter, a guardian meant to protect both trollkind and humankind from the fearsome troll tyrant named Gunmar. So Jim has to train for the ultimate battle while keeping his troll hunting life a secret from his mom and everybody else. It may seem like your typical Chosen One story, but the series is much more than that. It contains a lot of world building and legend about the trolls and how they used to coexist with humans centuries ago. And the magic amulet has been passed on to trolls as troll hunters for every generation up until Jim's turn. And as the show progresses, it does narrow it down onto why Jim was chosen to be the next troll hunter than the other trolls. Even if Jim wants nothing to do with the amulet, he has to, or else everyone he cares or loves may perish in the hands of Gunmar and his evil army, the Gungums. Although he's not really a troll, he can still find a way to battle and protect Arcadia in his own way. What's even better is that the cartoon doesn't give a lot of development to trolls, but other mythical creatures like changelings, gnomes, goblins, and wizards like Merlin. As for the Slice of Life story, there are some creative ways for Jim and Toby to try to keep their troll hunting life a secret. It doesn't just balance the life of Jim as a troll hunter and a regular teenager, but it does add some perspective to the other characters when encountering magical creatures like Toby, Claire, Barbara, Strickler, Arg, Drawl, and more. I'll even say the jokes are funny here. Sure, it's not considered a funny series, but the character lines or gags from the creatures can be enjoyably witty. The show even has a good moral about teamwork where despite Jim wanting to find Gunmar alone to protect everyone, his friends want to fight alongside him no matter what the danger. They know he's been juggling a lot of responsibilities at home, school, and being the troll hunter, and they want to help him in any way. As for the episodes themselves, they're mostly pretty good and flow easily, and many of the emotional moments can be very effective whenever a character is in critical danger, or even close to death. It can happen when some adventures use pop culture stuff like The Actresses, The Breakfast Club, Gremlins, It's a Wonderful Life, and more, but those moments are pretty rare. Though I'm actually surprised nobody had the guts to take a stab at this movie or use this line. Sure, the show has your typical wacky hijinks on keeping Jim's other life a secret, but at least the characters in this show are unexpectedly 3-dimensional. Forget Stanley, Poppy, and even Branch because these are the trolls I want to go on an adventure with. What worked with the characters in part 1 of Arcadia is how much development and likable personality that's been put into them, allowing the audience to feel more welcome and understand what the heroes are fighting for. With the main character Jim, he is considered the amulet's chosen one that must defend Arcadia from Gunmar. But what makes him an interesting character is his responsibility as both a troll hunter and outside of it. His mom works overtime as a nurse while his dad ran off with someone else, so he has to make sure nothing bad ever happens to her while keeping his grades up in school. And he has to do all of that without exposing his new life as a troll hunter. As for his friends, there's Toby, the support comic relief that always stands by his side, and Claire, the love interest who will eventually find out about Jim and the trolls and decide to join them in order to get her baby brother back from the Darklands. Then there are Jim's troll friends, Blinky and Arg. They're both likable mentors, with Blinky being the wise teacher that knows about creatures and magic, and Arg is the big but soft pacifist that has such an interesting backstory that he used to be part of the Gun Guns and was haunted by all the atrocities they committed. Another interesting troll character is Droll, the son of the original troll hunter Kajigar. He was originally going to take the amulet back from Jim out of jealousy, but after Jim defeated him in battle and sparing his life, he decided to train him while hiding inside his house. There are other characters that do help Jim and his friends like Chomsky, Vendel, Nairike, and even Merlin, and they all have gooey personalities and depth that went into them. The only recurring characters that didn't care much were Steve and Eli, because Steve is just the bully, and Eli is the geek that sees all the supernatural stuff that nobody believes him. Now we move on to the villains of the show, starting with Walter Strickler, Jim's teacher who is secretly a changeling that wants to free Gunmar in exchange for changelings to walk among the earth. Although he and Jim are polar opposites regarding the war, he would slowly but surely develop feelings for his mom, Barbara. For the rest of the villains, they all have amazing powers and threatening nature that defeating them won't be a walk in the park. These include Bolar being Gunmar's son that wants to free his dad, Nomura is the other changeling that say keeps the bridge to the Darklands, Angarat is the troll hunter assassin that wants his soul back, Morgana is Merlin's former student and the powerful sorcerer that caused the war between humans and trolls, and Gunmar himself is the big bad troll that wants to spread eternal darkness on the earth so that he and his Gungam army can rule the surface world and enslave both trolls and humanity. When it comes to DreamWorks television animation, their computer animated cartoons are mostly okay, but with Trollhunters animation, this is one of the better looking DreamWorks animated series. The only criticism I would have with it is that the town of Arcadia is just an ordinary town with either a cul-de-sac or a high school. But everywhere else the characters travel are gorgeous to look at, especially the Darklands and the Trolls Underground Market. The visuals help give light to these places by showing the wonders of the deep caverns, like using crystals and gems as light sources. With the character designs, the humans have basic appearances in other DreamWorks movies like Megamind or B-Movie, where they have character features and doesn't go hyper-realistic. The same thing can be said about the Trolls, where they all have cartoony looks despite the muted and gritty colors. Not only many of them have nice rock textures in their skins, but they actually show a different variety of troll creatures with various natural resources. All of the other creatures have created designs as well, from the changelings to goblins to Angarat. It can happen that the character animation can feel cartoony, but most of the characters move and fight in a natural way. And yes, the action scenes are the best parts of the show because they show off many different scenarios and how the heroes and villains fight against each other, whether it be the amulet's magic or with the other creatures' combat or weaponry. As you already guessed, there is a lot of visual effects on the armory, weapons, and everywhere else, and they all look amazing. From Claire's Shadow Staff to Toby's Warhammer with a touch of gravity powers, and of course Jim's armor suit equipped with multiple swords and shields. Even the final showdown knew exactly how to wrap up an Arcadia storybook and move on to the next. But as for the first part of the trilogy, this show was awesome! Trollhunters Tales of Arcadia is one of the most underrated animated DreamWorks series. And this one is one of the best TV shows with an interesting premise, likable and genuine characters, and even some cool looking animation. I highly recommend you give this show a watch if you haven't done so yet. Now, because I finally caught up to the show, does that mean I'm going to watch the other chapters like Three Below, Wizards, and even the movie? The answer? Yes. Trollhunters did a great job welcoming me as a newcomer to Arcadia itself and its mythology, and I'm always open to learn about other fantasy creatures or magic presented in this trilogy. As long as they didn't turn themselves to an empty corporate jukebox musical, I'm happy. I'm going to give part 1 of Arcadia an A-, and Jim and his friends are rewarded with a Diploma of Destiny. Whew, finally I did it! I completed all my assigned summer reviews. Maybe now I can get myself a break from binge watching and reviewing TV shows. Ahem. Can I help you? The Total Drama Island reboot released part 2 of the entire series. It's now ready for review. Hey! What are you doing? Let go of me! Okay, I get it! I'll do it! I can walk by myself! thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this, check out these other videos, or feel free to like, comment, and subscribe for more upcoming reviews and other projects. I'll see you soon.